We got sidetracked a lot. My gosh.
We kept saying we should be recording now, and then we were like, let's search for other shit.
I feel like that took us like 10 minutes. It's like, we should be recording now, and then do something else. We should be recording now, do something else. Probably like 4 times, and then we're like, yes, we
That's
should.
so true. We're like, dude, we should be recording now. That's how we are, you guys.
What's
And
new?
also, yeah, nothing is new. We're basically recording on the same day. We fooled you guys
How?
when we said
It's like,
it's gonna be a two-parter. We're gonna record it on a different day. No, we didn't say that,
no, we
but we
didn't say
made you think that.
that. April Fool. Nope, not April. Fooled ya.
So, December Fools. Is it gonna be December? This is our Christmas gift to you guys.
Is it? Oh my god. You know what's so difficult is that we pre-record, so it's like, it's November right now, but let's pretend it's December because this is coming out in December.
Merry Christmas! And then, oh my God, I forgot we were supposed to like address the fact that
Exactly.
the Aswang episode.
A lot of
we were
it.
we were supposed to release it. Like we were planning the episode, and we were like, oh, this is gonna be released on like November 1 or something. So we were like, Happy Halloween, and then like shit happened. We had like another hiatus, and then we released it on January 2019, and then we completely forgot about it
We were just like,
right before we.
yeah.
Yeah, and my sister was the one who was like, "You, this is your Halloween episode, but it was like released on January 2019." I was like, "What? We did that?"
A lot of our shit. Okay, so we kind of did well because a lot of our shit was recorded back in 2018. Like the Batty Bat one, the Manananggal, was it?
Wait, no, I don't think Batty Bat was recorded in 20. Yeah, it was.
It was
It
because
was
we were still talking about
talking about
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Sabrina for like the December episode, I think. Yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking of chilling Adventures of Sabrina, their season 3 hasn't been released yet.
right.
And I can't wait because I want to see more of like Cousin Amber.
Cousin Ambrose. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. I'm like, yeah, we're thinking the same thing. Thirsty bitches.
And I don't see him or bitches. I don't see him on Instagram anymore.
He doesn't post as
Is it
often.
is it just me that I don't see him as much as I used to?
No. But then who is the actor for Satan again?
Luke
Luke,
something.
yeah. I see him
I
more.
said it with so much confidence. Luke something.
But I see him more. It's like less of cousin Ambrose and more of that guy.
Daddy Satan.
Zaddy Satan, not daddy.
Daddy,
Like
yeah,
Zaddy Satan.
that's true.
What the fuck
Oh,
is wrong with
and
us?
And what I loved the most was like during Halloween, he dressed up as Sabrina, and then Kiernan Shipka dressed up as Satan, and then they were
Really?
like, yeah, it was so cute because their caption was like, oh, like, damn it, I forgot the caption, but they were like, it was something sweet. It was so cute.
Whose Instagram was it posted on? I'm Googling.
both both their Instagram. I'm not sure because I saw it as their stories.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I can't remember his name, so I'm searching Kiernan.
Me too. Oh, Luke Cook.
No.
Yeah, he posted it on his Instagram. I'll send it. We're literally talking to each other and forgetting. Did we introduce our podcast?
Oh my god, I don't think we did. Welcome to Creepy conversations with Kalai and Gabby. Kalai
3 fucking minutes into the podcast. Wait, no, 5 minutes into the podcast.
five. So she's Kalai.
And I'm Gabby, no. She's Gabby.
She's everyone now. She's basically creepy conversation.
I'm Nanny. I'm the government. I'm Craig. I'm Kyra.
That's
I'm
the
Abby.
plot twist. Oh gosh.
You know, something I realized, sushi hasn't been
Burnt.
barking.
That is why not your connection, but your microphone is shit. Oh my god, what happened to Sushi?
I don't know why he was barking earlier.
Oh, then that
Like,
should be
really
fine.
loud. His done with what? He is done with his podcast, so that's why he's like resting his voice now.
No, because I think he's already had the fame that he was looking for, so he's like, yeah, I'm over this.
I just need you to say my correct name.
Or he probably found out that we only have one listener on Spotify.
Oh my god. And he's like, only Gabby's listening to you on Spotify. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
want
fuck
real
this.
content. Let me make my own podcast. It's gonna be more famous than your one listener podcast.
Oh, and it's quite easy for dogs to actually get popular. Like animals in general. People love them.
God, Sushi, come back!
You are gonna be the reason why people are gonna listen to us.
To your nonsense market. Just kidding.
Yeah, but okay, this is the second part to the unclosed case of Nida Blanca, aka the Filipino equivalent of the O.J. Simpson trial. I don't even think I need to say that, but just to make it relatable, it is what it is. So, a quick recap. Our sources are still the same: Wikipedia, Prime Crime Mysteries, Philstar Newspaper, Balitang Marina, Los Angeles Times, and The Inquirer. Okay.
Yep.
So, this murder happened in November 7, 2001 to Nida Blanca, whose real name is Dorothy Jones, which we never actually mentioned in the first part. But
That's so cute.
yeah, but now you guys know. She's a renowned Filipina actress who has been in the industry for 50 years. She is now, she was an appointed board member of the MTRCB, aka Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, which is the agency that's responsible for classifying your TV programs. And so she was found dead in her car, in the backseat of her car, in November 7, 2001 at around 8 a.m. She was found by a security guard who was doing roving checks in the parking lot where her car was parked. And her car was parked in the building of her office, which was in Atlanta Center, Metro Manila. So
Yeah.
she.
If you want to.
Mm?
Sorry.
No, continue.
If you want to know more about like really detailed details, the fuck. But if you want to know more about what went down, you can listen to our previous episode.
Oh yeah,
And you can like listen to like the theories there too, which is like really interesting.
we definitely recommend listening to the previous episode, or else this shit's not gonna make a lot of sense.
Yeah. True.
Oh god, you told me the wine is gonna make me better. Now I feel like my colds are coming up.
I can actually hear you. Like you sound sicker than the previous episode.
Exactly. So guys, don't drink alcohol. That's a lie. I thought it was gonna fix me, but apparently it's only making me sicker. But I'm 80% of the bottle through, so I'm just gonna finish the entire bottle in this episode. But yeah, I'm sick. I'm sick. That's why I sound weird.
Maybe it's you just need to finish the entire bottle. That's why you're still sick. Because the bottle's like, bitch, finish me so I can fucking hear you now.
I guess that's how it works. We'll see. If I cough a lot throughout the episode, you guys know why. Um,
It's
okay.
my fault.
But then you goaded me into it, so I'm just like, yeah, that's probably gonna be good. Honestly, whatever reason you give me, just so I can drink, I'll be up for it.
At the back of Gabby's head, it's like, would be like the reason for me to drink, even though I'm sick. And then you just give her like any kind of nonsense reason, she'd be like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever reason. Honestly, I don't even have a reason. I don't need to have a reason. Drinking is the best. Guys,
That's
you go do it. Just don't be
true.
an alcoholic like us.
Or you can be, but no, you can't.
No. Well, if you have money to get sober or like get better, then sure, why not? We don't even have the money for that, but we're here. And let's continue. Where was I?
You, we were in the like series for
Oh, right. So she was found in the back of her car. She was slumped. She was found by a security guard, and she was found with 13 stab wounds.
yeah,
And she was found just a few hours after she was murdered. And so, from initial investigations, there were a lot of theory speculations. I think we mentioned two in the previous
yeah,
episode. The
too.
biggest one and the messiest one was with the Jose Velarde account,
Yeah.
um, which relates back to a former impeached president, Arab Estrada.
Mm. So you guys should definitely listen to the previous episode.
Yeah, because yeah, that's a huge thing. There's a lot to look into, and it's more than just her being linked to that account. It's really also about what this bank account
So
was and how huge this mess is.
yeah, it goes deep, deep
Yeah.
into politics.
Wait, weren't you kind of, well, I wouldn't say involved, but something happened with you and your
Oh, right.
family?
I was supposed to say this. You know how it is when you're excited and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna write it down because I can like definitely remember it. But then like when the time comes, I'm like, I was supposed to say something. But yeah, in like the previous episode, I mentioned the impeached, the impeached president. So during that time when he was like impeached, no, not really. Like before he was impeached, there were like lots of rallies all over the nation or all over the Philippines, um, to like remove him from power. And we were in Manila during that time to like visit family because my mom's from originally from Manila. And while we were like anyway, while we were passing through some place, there was like the rally in EDSA, and my mom was like, let's join," because my family is like very, I don't know how to say it, like we're activists.
Yeah, you guys are a
We
family of
like
activists.
Yeah, we like our freedom. So my mom was like, yeah, why don't I bring my 10-year-old daughter and my 13-year-old daughter to this rally and then like to rally for our freedom. So I was there during the time, like I think that was like um people power.
Oh, is
I don't know what
it?
number. Yeah. So that was cool.
Now I feel we're the passive
I'm just
family.
bragging.
We're the passive family. It's like, because my mom is honestly just in for the gossip, but she doesn't want to get involved. And I think it kind of translated to me, and I'm like, yes, I'm into this, but I don't want to be a part of it. But I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like I can barely remember it, but at the same time, the parts that I could remember was like very vivid. Like I could remember riding a taxi, and then like across us was like the pro Arab Estrada rally.
What?
They were like through on their way to EDSA to like rally against the anti-Arab Estrada, and then
Right.
my mom was like, let's why don't we stop by and rally with the anti-Arab Estrada? So that was fun. And I remember like people were bringing like placards and shit,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is so that's it. And that's me bragging about joining rallies when I was a kid.
This is
Why am I doing
this
this?
is why you're like this. Why are we even wondering? Why do we even ask ourselves like, why are we like this? Dude, we know why we're like this.
Exactly. Let's proceed to the theories.
Jesus, hold on. I'm having a more difficult time talking actually because my nose is like super clogged up. So it's like
Yep,
I'm
that did.
breathing and talking through my mouth. And it's so hard. It's actually quite difficult because breathing and talking through my mouth makes my
That's fine.
throat
Yeah.
drier, and now it's scratchier, so I'm kind of like borderline stopping myself from coughing, but also in the verge of wheezing.
Oh my God. That was the reason why I was blabbing about the rally shit because I wanted Gabby to rest. No, that's a lie.
Yeah. So, getting on to the speculations, Nida Blanca was murdered brutally. Now, people are starting to wonder why this happened to her and who did it. So, in the previous episode, I mentioned there were three major things that came up. One with the bloody umbrella, the second was the huge bank transaction, and the third is a testimony. Now, we've covered the bank transactions, which also led to the casino rumor. Now, if. Oh, shit. Did you hear that? I kind of like.
Yeah.
Because I can't breathe. I'm
Do you
so.
like blow your nose?
No, it's the kind.
Like pause and like
It's the kind wherein it's clogged, but if I blow my nose, nothing's gonna come out.
oh.
So I just gotta it out. I don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, whatever. We're gross. So if you guys want to know what happened in that theory speculation and how it turned up, y'all gotta listen to our previous episode. Now, another thing that I failed to mention in part one is that Elena de la Paz, which is the personal assistant of Nida Blanca, was also scrutinized in this case because police said she appeared to be defensive and she seemed to be holding back information that could help solve the case while they were questioning her. Yeah,
Oh my God.
and plus, there was also this incident where she was interviewed in the
Mm-hmm.
radio news after Nida's lifeless body, was found in the back of her car. And it
Yeah.
was literally 15 minutes after that happened. So, like,
What? She was interviewed right away?
yeah, like, they found the body, the police and the media were there, and then 15 minutes after everybody was in the crime scene, she was interviewed by the radio station. And she was able to give information that was at that time unknown to the responding policemen who
Whoa.
only
What?
secured the crime scene at around 9 a.m. So she was found 8 a.m., the police were there 9 a.m., but then she was able to give out certain information that the police were like, dude, we're still figuring this out. How did you know that? Or like, how can you give out these kinds of details to the media?
Oh.
Yeah. So you would think like, did you have something to do with this? How could you know that?
Hmm.
Or did you like look in, I don't know. But then in, so imagine this is like 2001, but in 2006, Kay, who is the daughter of Nida Blanca, asked the Justice Secretary to drop cases against Elena. saying that she would never be capable of doing such a crime because like she's
What?
been their help for 45 years and she's nice. She took care of her mom and she also cared for Kay and the family. And so Kay was like, no, I don't think Tita Elena, which is what she called her, would be capable of killing her mother.
What did she say that made the police like speculate that she knew something?
Yeah, that's the other sketchy part because they don't have details. They just said she said stuff that weren't known to police at that time.
Oh my God.
But it's like, what the fuck did she say? But there's nothing like it's very difficult to find stuff about like what she said. So I don't really know if the police were just pointing fingers,
Yeah.
but yeah. I mean, you would kind of like, sorry, my brain is not working. I'm starting to get drunk. Would understand why people would scrutinize her though, because she was also the one who tried to look for her the night before Nida Blanca
Right.
died. But that could then also kind of explain how she would know some stuff that the police did not know until
Didn't know.
then. Yeah.
Because she was like asking a bunch of people.
Yep. But then, like I said, they said she appeared to be offensive and seemed to be holding back information. So I don't know if she was just nervous, if somebody told her, like, you should be careful with what you say to police, or else they would think you're up to something or you've been part of this or whatever. But in 2008, this is like 7 years after Nida Blanca's death, Elena was cleared of charges as they haven't found basis of probable cause. So, yeah, she wasn't indicted of anything.
It could have been just she was like defensive because of the way the questions were asked. Like
Yeah,
something that like also like Filipinos in general are defensive by nature.
we're always
We're
defensive.
immediately like, why are you asking me these questions?
Exactly. And like it would also make sense. She probably knew personal stuff about Nida Blanca because
Yeah.
they're so close and they've known each other for 45 years. And it makes sense why you'd be careful with what you say to
Yeah.
people.
Oh my God. Yeah. That could be hinting at something
Yeah.
else. No, I'm kidding.
So she was kind of a suspect, but then they dropped it a few years after. Going back to the casino case, I mentioned that there was a friend who was reportedly seen with Nida Blanca the night before she died, and they were at the casino. And this friend was Ding Tantoko,
Hmm.
and so the police questioned her because that's like what you do when people find you with someone who died the night before.
Yeah.
And also because a certain Pedro Philip Medel mentioned in his testament that he was accompanied or there was an accomplice to what he did.
Hmm.
But then it gets kind of complicated because when Ding was put into lie detector test, she passed, which means she's like, okay, she's probably not guilty. But would you want to give us a bit of download as to who this
Yeah.
Medell guy is and what
I was
She
about to
said.
say, because I was like, oh, interesting, because I actually searched up on like Philip Medell,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of confused because his real name is Pedro Philip Medell, right?
Yeah.
But then in some newspapers, or not really some newspapers, but in some reports by Philstar, his name is June. They call him June. I think
June?
that's his nickname.
Maybe because
Yeah,
he's
J-U-N.
junior. Because he's a junior. Maybe that's it.
Oh, damn. I was like so confused. I was reading like,
No, that's just a
who the
theory
fuck
by
is June
me.
Medell? And then like I searched up on it and like it was just Philip Medell. But yeah, so this guy, as Gabby already knows, and probably you guys don't yet, this guy is really interesting. So back in 2000 and in November 2008, sorry, before I start, I got my stuff from primecrime.home.blog, same source as Gabby.
Hmm.
She's really she's really detailed.
She
I think she
is.
read the entire report and just
But then she's a legit
so
author. So.
yeah, that's true. So good job for making our lives easier and for like letting us copy you. Anyway, so he admitted to killing Nida Blanca. And so let me just give you a quick background on who Philip Medell is. So Philip Medell is actually like he was an ex-bodyguard who was contacted by Mike Martinez to do a job with him back in early 2000, October 2001. So they called this project as the Tantoco project, which was, according to Mike Martinez, was to intimidate a swindling wife of a Chinese. So there was no name given. It was just that, like a swindling wife of a Chinese. So, and then I don't know, maybe Mindell is like, she a sketchy person already. So he was like, yeah, I'm in. And so in November 6th, 2001, Martinez called Medell and they agreed to meet. And then, so he waited for Mike Martinez, but instead of Mike Martinez appearing, it was a Caucasian man. And he said that they would meet Martinez in another place. So I don't know about you, but like if it was me, I would be like, I'm not gonna go with a Caucasian stranger to a place. But like I said, I feel like Philip knows used to like doing sketchy jobs.
Wait, wait.
So yeah,
Before you continue, can I ask you why they named it the Tantoko Project?
I'll well, they didn't really specify why.
Mm.
They just named it as the Tantoco project, and then eventually, I'll get to that part.
No, I'm just wondering because remember I mentioned Nida's
That
friend that was found in the
yeah, they,
casino? Her last name is
yeah,
Tantoko.
yeah. I'll get to that
Okay.
part.
Sorry, I
So
got so excited.
it's okay. Actually, it was also like at that part.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he went with a Caucasian dude, and then they drove around. They drove past Kamayan restaurant in Edsa, where while he was with the dude, the Caucasian dude, he said that, oh, Mike Martinez is in that restaurant, but they didn't stop at the restaurant. They went somewhere else. And they just passed by the restaurant. They went to another place that wasn't specified because the Caucasian dude was looking for somebody else. And then when he couldn't find that man, he went back, and then they went back to the Kamayan restaurant at around 9 p.m. where they had dinner. And then while they were having dinner, the Caucasian dude said that, excuse me, they had dinner and he said that he was instructed by the Caucasian dude to intimidate a wife of a Chinese. So no other specifications, just that to intimidate a wife of a Chinese.
Okay.
And Philip Medell was like, yeah, this is normal. Let me do that.
What the fuck?
Life was, dude, like, man, if you need money, don't go to shit like that. Like, don't
Start
find
a
sketchy
fucking
jobs where you
podcast if
could
you
go change.
wanna get rich.
That's a lie because we're still poor, but like,
We're getting there.
I don't know. You were a bodyguard before. Why don't you be like a gym trainer or something? Like, you could
Right?
find decent money
Or maybe
rather
a
than,
body double or something.
yeah, right? Find like a job that's not gonna fucking kill you. Anyway, so later on, he referred to the Caucasian dude as Rad, as in RAD,
Oh, please.
right? Mm-hmm. And then they left the restaurant at about 10 p.m. and went to the sixth floor of the Atlanta Center, which is, you know, where Nida Blanca's office
Yep.
is. And then they parked next to a dark green car and waited at around 12 midnight. At that time, he didn't know that it was Nida Blanca and it was her car. They just parked beside it. And he just remembered because of the car. Anyway, so Rad then, at around 12 midnight, Rad then told Medell that he was leaving and that Medell had to move to the back seat of the car. So he's like, yeah, this is normal. Let me move to the back seat of the
What the
car
fuck?
where you could probably murder me or something like that. So he remembered that he even texted some of his friends and then he fell asleep and then he woke up at 1 a.m. because of the light of a car that was parked across the car where he was staying.
Would you fall asleep?
So no, that was what was I what was what? I was about to say that. Like, you don't know who this guy is and you're just gonna fucking fall
I
asleep.
think I'd be
So
too
this dude is
antsy.
yeah. Like, I don't wanna like put more blame on Philip Adele, but like, dude, you're obviously used to sketchy shit. If you're like with a stranger and you fall asleep, like it's that normal to you, right?
Exactly.
Like, you could be killed. Like a bomb could go off in that fucking car,
That is so
right?
dumb. I I wouldn't even stay in the car, to be honest. Like what after the guy leaves, I'd
I
probably
would,
go out.
yeah, I wouldn't go with a guy. That's a lie, because I.
I was gonna say the same, but then no.
Mm-mm.
Malaysia happened and
And then I spoke too soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, if I was Philip Adele and someone would leave me in a car in a dark fucking parking lot, because in the previous episode, Gabby did say that that parking lot was like around, it was like
Dark.
dark and it was like near the corner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
It's like no
fucking
one would
stay
find
in
you
that.
there.
Aside from like sketchy people, you could see like, I'm sorry, but I'm superstitious. I might see ghosts there. No fucking way.
Yeah.
I would leave. And also, I was amazed, like, if you're a sketchy person, you would really take note of the time because he was like, oh, at around we waited from like 10 p.m. until 12 p.m. and then around 1 a.m. I woke up.
Yeah.
So he took note of the time. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, oh, what is
Dude,
happening?
we would forget. We'd probably just say evening, dawn, and then
Yeah,
morning.
what time? It's probably around dawn.
We can't even remember 5 seconds that happened in our lives. What makes us think that
So
we'd be like,
true.
at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., this is what we did?
Yeah. So I think he was like he's used to. Plus, he was a bodyguard before, so I think he's like used to like
Yeah, okay, makes
taking
sense.
note of
Fine,
the
yeah.
time. Yeah. So, which is like something I should probably do, like from Philip Adele do.
Mm.
But yeah. So when he woke up because of that light from the car that was parked across the car that he was sleeping in, he saw Rad and two other women step out. So, and then Rad then pushed a woman wearing a striped blouse and dark colored pants in the back seat with him. And then Rad and the other woman kicked, struck the the woman who was wearing a striped blouse and dark colored pants.
What?
And then the next one is really, I don't know, it's interesting for me because then Midel joined in hitting the woman and then ended up stabbing her with a knife on the left side of her body. And then,
What the
so,
fuck?
which is like, wait a minute, let's pause here for a second. You were hired to intimidate a Chinese wife. You were hired to
I
be a wife of a Chinese. And then you start stabbing her? Like,
yeah, it just
I don't think stabbing is intimidating somebody. Like,
it doesn't make sense,
right?
and plus it's like you don't even know if that's the person.
Exactly.
And
And if like I wake up to people beating the shit out of a 65-year-old woman, wait, no, he
62.
did say that it was an old, but it was like an old
Yeah.
woman. I'd be like, wait, hold
It's like, is
on,
this
is
right?
this is this the woman that we're supposed to intimidate?
Exactly.
Before I like, I wouldn't beat up the woman, but I'd be like, I'd ask questions before I join in.
That is
But
so
apparently, like,
dumb.
it just shows that Philip Fidel is used to doing shit like this because of how he narrated this whole shit. Like, you wouldn't wake up and then just join beating the shit out of a woman. You'd
Ex-
be like,
I'm putting myself
this isn't what I signed up for.
I'm putting myself in his shoes and be like, what if I just wake up and I see someone beating someone up? I'd be like, dude, wait, let me just get my bearings first. What the fuck are you doing?
I just woke up. This isn't this isn't intimidating in my vocabulary. Like when you say intimidating, I'd be like, just, show that I have a knife. I wouldn't stab that person. I would just show that I have a knife.
This would
You
be
know what I
the cannot instead of
Yeah,
can.
cannot. This is not
It
cool.
doesn't
Like,
make sense. Like, why? Who in their right mind would just be like, I woke up and I see them beating this
I'm gonna start
person,
stabbing
so yes,
somebody.
I will stab you too. What?
Right?
Ugh.
And he didn't even say that he was instructed to stab her. Like, he just said, oh, he started stabbing her,
His analogy is
right?
just like they're beating her up, so they're probably trying to kill her. I'll help and stab her.
Yeah.
What?
And the fact that you said that there was no defense wounds,
Yeah.
like, there's no part of it to, like, provoke him to fucking stab her. And
Yeah.
he's sitting beside her. So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, before you start stabbing somebody, and 13 times, that's a lot. You would ask questions first before you fucking stabbing someone.
Exactly. At least say, wait, why are we doing this again?
Yeah, or, should I mean, I have a knife. Should I start stabbing her? Like, you shouldn't, by the way, if you have a knife, don't start stabbing somebody just because you have a knife.
Knives are for
Ask
slicing
questions first.
carrots.
Get out of the car and just be like, dude, this is too much for me. This is too much. This isn't intimidation in my vocabulary anymore. I'm just gonna get out of
I
here.
can't.
You know,
Yeah.
it. That's why that part's just so interesting for me because literally he didn't say that he was instructed to stab her. Like nowhere in the part of he was like recalling everything. He didn't say that Brad told him to kill
He just kind of
her. There
like,
was
yeah, I should do this.
yeah. It just it just happened. Ugh,
Oh my god,
it
that
is.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And then let me get back to the part. And he was like, then they left at around 2 a.m. He went home and hid the knife under his kitchen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which is another interesting for me because he said that he hid the knife under his kitchen. Did they recover that knife?
They even I think they were able to recover the knife because I'm not sure. This is just how
Oh,
I'm piecing things together. But when Midel surrendered to the police, they also said that he gave them a knife. He procured a knife, to which they did tests and stuff. As to what happened with that
ah,
test, I don't have any information with that.
no. Yeah. And then he went home the next day. He was shocked to learn that the victim was the famous actress Nida Blanca.
Dude, you stabbed somebody and you couldn't even get a look at her face. Like, I think
Yeah,
your eyes adjust to the dark. It makes sense if at first time, like a first few minutes into it, you were like, I don't know who this person is, but eventually,
exactly.
you
And
know.
also, another question that I have, if it wasn't Nida Blanca, would you have just been like, oh, that was just another person? Like,
I don't,
you know what?
I don't really know. But,
So yeah, and then after that, Rod, it came out that the cops eventually found out that he was talking about Rod
mm.
drunk, and then Strunk denied the allegations, and so did also sorry, the other woman that started kicking Gab.
Mm.
Are you still
Yeah,
there?
I'm still listening.
So it turns out that the other woman that was because I mentioned he what is happening? He woke up to Rod coming out of the car
Another
with
lady.
two women,
Yeah.
right? And then the other lady that was hitting her turns out he Philip Mendel said that it was actually Ding Pantoco.
Right.
And then he eventually said that Rod Strunk was gay and Pantoco was a lesbian, which Rod Strunk denied, and Ding Tantoco also denied her involvement, and she even passed the lie detector
Yeah,
test.
that's why they dropped it. But like, what? Rod is gay, but they've been married for a very long time, and he hasn't even. Okay, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe bi, or I don't know, because I mean I know a lot of people who are married, but they still. That's another subject.
No,
But
I mean, I do know people in the same case, but I think you can tell there are telltale signs that
mm,
about their orientation. But
mm,
there's also strong evidence, to be honest, even without the testimony of Midel, that
mm.
points towards Rod Strunk because I'm.
Oh wait,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Let me just finish
Oh,
the part of self.
right.
No, it's okay because I was immediately like, oh, that's it. But I forgot to mention, like, in November, also in the same month, Medell eventually recanted his statements.
Yeah, he pulled a fucking Garcia.
Yeah, he just said that he was tortured and forced to make a statement under duress. And the cops were like, the fuck is happening?
Honestly, you guys, this is the worst thing you can do. Don't meddle in between cases because you're just gonna make things complicated, and this is so unfair to people involved in the trial. Like, just don't. Honestly, if you're not
Mm,
involved in any of this, don't put your hands in the jar where it's not supposed to.
yeah,
But yeah, even without the testimony of Medell, there would have been a slightly strong motive that would point towards Rod Strunk because a bloodied and broken umbrella was found near the body of Nida Blanca with indications that it was used to stab her armpits thrice, and that investigators were told that the umbrella actually came from Rod's car. And although there has been reports also that Rod was a freeloader. Like, although he came from fame and fortune,
Yeah.
like, he was a celebrity himself. But he was all over the place. Like, Nida complained to her daughter Kay that Rod was financially out of control. Like, he lived an extravagant life, but he was jobless. And
What?
he was jobless, but he lived an extravagant life. So basically, he was freeloading off his wife, and he was even caught with drugs. But
What?
yes, in the early 90s, he was caught with drugs, but Nida was like, "Okay, I forgive you. This happens to people. We can help you." Safe to say that their marriage wasn't in good terms. So even if Nida was in debt, or even if the bank account statements were true and that Nida was in debt, she was still loaded in terms of property. Like, she had 85 million pesos worth of assets, and that's around $1.7 million. None of this were going to Strunk, because in her will, she wrote that the inheritance all goes to her daughter. But then Kay can only get 100% of the assets if Nida and Rod were annulled. Because then if they get annulled, Nida would own solely her assets. So the loophole here is if Nida died before they were able to terminate their marriage, Rod would be entitled to a portion of her assets as the legal spouse under the law. So even if, like, Midel didn't point out that Rod would be part of this, that is still strong motive to point to the husband as a suspect. But then even more so that there was a confession, so the Department of Justice indicted Rod Strunk with parricide along with 4 principal suspects in February 2013. Even if, like, Midel recanted his statement, they still proceeded with the charges because prosecutors said that there were sufficient evidences to back the case. But then it also makes sense because usually when wives go missing, you would always be like, it's a husband, and vice versa, to be honest. Like, if it happened to the husband, it would have a bit of questioning for the wife.
Interesting, because you know how I'm addicted to forensic files.
Yep.
Like, I sleep to it and shit like that. So there, I watch it every day. Like, right before I sleep, I gotta watch one episode. So, because I don't know, it's because of the narrator's voice.
It does lull you to sleep.
Yeah, it's calming. So, in one episode, I forgot what it is, but it was the same case as, like, the husband killed the wife. According to the investigator, 80% of the murders, like, whenever if it's the wife that died, 80% of the case, it's always the husband who did that. And this isn't just in the US, this is, like, global.
Like, in general. But it makes sense, though.
And the husband could have, like, he could look like he's, like, the perfect husband. No signs of, like, marital abuse and shit like that.
Yep.
But he could still do it, which is, like,
I mean, you can just hire people to do it for you and pretend like you don't know anything. Charge. Okay, should I pause the recording? Okay. No, it's okay. Okay, we were cut off. Stupid government. Anyway, yeah. So where were we? Yeah, Rod Strunk was indicted. So, the Department of Justice indicted Rod Strunk with parricide along with 4 principal suspects. And the thing was, when these charges were filed filed against Rod, he was no longer in the Philippines. After Nida's burial, he left for the US to visit his mother in Tracy, California, who was dying of cancer. So when he left, he knew that they were filing charges against him, so he stayed there for good. Now,
Wow.
the yeah, and so now the Philippine authorities had to file a request to the U.S. government to have him arrested. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, what's up? Your guy kind of like killed somebody in the Philippines, and so we need you guys to arrest him. Thanks, bye." So he was detained in Sacramento County Jail because of that. But
Mm.
then the Philippine government couldn't provide further proof of his guilt, so they had to release him. Like
What?
it didn't help also that Medell took back what he said. You know how he, you know,
Yeah.
and the U.S. government scrapped the extradition request. They were probably like, "Boo, you play in. Cutoff game is strong. We're gonna release him."
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to 2007 in July 11, um, Rod Strunk's body was found in the parking lot around noon, bleeding from the head and the nose. He died from falling head first after jumping from his balcony at the second floor of Tracy Inn, and police even said that there was a lodged chair by the door in his room to prevent someone from coming in. So, like, 6 years after his wife's death, he committed suicide in California. And then going back to Medell, he was detained for 8 years in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, but in 2010, of April 7th, he died of pneumonia. So now we have an unsolved case that
Yeah.
has never gone into trial and most likely will never go into trial because in Philippine law, once the accused dies, criminal liability is extinguished.
This case is just tragedy all around. Like,
Yeah,
there's no win for this case. Like, it's just, uh,
I don't even know how we're gonna proceed with this. If they will ever um, try to solve this case. It's
mhm.
been 18 years. That's close to 2 decades. And yeah, it's unsolved. It's kind of hard to piece back things if everyone, close to everyone involved, is dead.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
yeah.
Oh, and speaking of, I kind of, there's actually like a kind of an ending to it. Because I was searching for Mike Martinez, like as I mentioned earlier with like Philip Medell's case, he mentioned that Mike Martinez was the one who contacted him, and he was the friend of Rod Strunk.
Mm-hmm.
Up until now, he's still missing. And according to his
Fuck.
brother, yeah, his brother was interviewed. According to his brother, they think that he's dead because they don't have any contact. Like if you were missing and you just went away to like hide from things,
Mm.
they still like occasionally contact your family. But there was like after the murder,
Yeah.
no contact from him at all. So they think that he's dead. And like 4 days ago, because I was looking for like what happened to Mike Martinez. 4 days ago, I found out that there was, wait, no, I found out 4 days ago that there was like a new thing. According to Phil Starr, there was a press conference from the NBI that although they still can't close this case, but they really think that, excuse me,
They.
that the person who did it was Rod Strunk and Philip Medell. Like for them, that was the
Oh wow.
because they have the receipt for the umbrella that Rod Strunk bought the umbrella that was found in her car.
Oh my
And
God.
then, yeah, and then there was also, what was the other one? The receipt for the Swiss knife that they think killed her, which is like, I don't know why they really think that Philip Medell was the one who killed her, because
Right.
if the receipt for the Swiss knife is under Rod Strunk, and Philip Medell says that he was the one who, it was his knife and he stabbed her. I
Mm.
don't know how, like, you still think that it's still, like, Philip Medell was, you know, I don't know how I feel like it doesn't make sense. Like, Philip Medell's story doesn't add up. I feel like he was there during the time that Nida Blanca was murdered, but I don't think that he was the one who murdered her. Like, I feel like he saw everything up
But
to the
like he's
part,
still an accessory to the
yeah,
crime.
up till the part where he says that he stabbed her, or like he beat her up, also
Right.
stabbed her. That part doesn't make sense. Like the part where he was like, "Oh, with Rod Strong," and it was like
Mm.
that. Like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But like to just stab somebody instead of like you were instructed to intimidate somebody and you like, just start stabbing them. Like I feel like that
That's not
part,
even intimidating.
yeah, that part was like him being like, okay, let me say that I killed her because I'm more scared of somebody else. Speaking of
It
that,
doesn't. It's
the
just crazy.
I mentioned last episode that there's another connection with Estrada, Arab Estrada, and Nida Blanca.
Mm-hmm.
So Philip Medell's job before, he was the bodyguard of Arab Estrada's son.
Great.
So
Okay,
you're like,
this makes this crazier.
so you're like, that's like too much coincidence for somebody,
Uh,
right?
okay, that's crazy as fuck. But like, how do you, if ever they do prove that it's both of them that were involved in the murder, how do you proceed with this when they're both dead?
I feel like maybe Rod Strunk asked Arab Estrada for help, and then he was like, okay, I have like somebody who is like disposable, who I can like in your
I
behalf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But like
Like,
of all people, why Estrada though?
because he
You
was up to
know?
like a lot of sketchy shit during his time. Up until now, I think so.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it kind of makes sense because he's the president. So it's like, I feel like if you are the president and I do some sketchy shit, but you're in it, I'll be immune or I'd be protected.
Mm,
You get what I mean?
yeah.
But I don't know. It's.
Yeah.
Woo!
Just this
This is a
case is
lot.
a lot. Yeah, that's why it's a two-parter.
Oh, wow. I'm so proud. We actually finished that. And, well,
Also, if you want to know, no, not really. You don't want to know. I feel like Estrada's like listening to this right now, and that other girl, the Kalai girl, she's really against me. She really wants to. She really wants to pin this murder on me. I'm just kidding. Let's be friends.
well,
You
you
can.
were there at the activist parade, so.
I was a kid at that time. I'm like washing my hands now. So like
That's
if
like
you're
18
listening,
years ago.
but I still stand by that. In the end, I still feel like there's. I don't think he did. He killed Nita Blanca, but I feel like in some way he's involved in it.
He's part of it.
Yeah, there's like
How
a
could you
bigger.
do that to your friend, though?
Mm, I mean, he's a politician. His friends
Mm.
are politicians.
Don't get into politics. I don't want you to kill me.
I'm not gonna. No way, dude. I'm like all for freedom. And if ever you're like, I don't know, pro-Arab or anti-Arab, you can like send your complaints to quickyconversations@gmail.com. And
or
yeah, or you can follow us.
yeah, or subscribe, rate, review, and listen to every single one of our episodes.
Yes.
That's
Oh, if you hate us and you want to leave a 1-star review, don't do that, man. Just leave a review, leave a 5-star review, and tell us like these bitches are pieces of shit. I don't know.
just put in the review, but like have a 5-star rating,
Yeah, let
right?
us know. We're literally like
5-star
asking
for
for
being
5-star
bad.
ratings.
No,
We're
five
like
star for being bad.
yeah, if you give us a 1-star, we're gonna take it that you love us because we're number one. We're your number one
Yes.
star,
What
and yeah,
what?
just but also seriously, let us know how we can improve.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna listen to it, but let us know, man. We're up for feedback.
We'll try to consider it. And don't forget to follow us on our social media channels on
Yeah,
Facebook, Twitter. That's at Creepy Convos. And
yeah.
eventually we'll have our Instagram. I'm so excited for that. But at the same time, I'm not ready because we don't have content.
We will have. Have like, if you want your art to, I don't know, if you want a little exposure of your art, you can send it to us. We can
Yes,
post it on
we're
our
all up
page.
for that.
Yeah, we have
Yes.
8,000 followers on Facebook.
What what?
So yeah, if you want exposure, let us know. We'll definitely help you guys.
Definitely. So thanks for creeping, you fucking creeper.
And remember, the government is always watching you. Bye.
Bye.